splinter turned into a colourful blister, which got bigger and bigger, until suddenly a big bird pushed through the others and popped it with his sharp bill. The blister splashed over all the birds, all except the clunky old crow, and is still black today.
Hello, how's everyone going today? It's pretty good, but you know what? I reckon you can do better than that. How are you going? Yeah, that's more like it. My name is Erin, and I'd like to welcome everyone here to Taronga Zoo and our QBE Freiflug bird show. Now, I've been lucky enough to have worked with these birds for about 9 years now. I have to admit, I love coming out here and watching them fly. What an amazing country is this. Did you know that Australia is one of the richest countries when it comes to bird life? Your heads with 2 metres worth of wings and some very long landing gear. Now, a lot of people are familiar with brolgas simply for the fact that they're really good dancers, believe it or not. They'll dance to try to defend their territory, but also to try to find themselves a mate as well. Now, those long legs come in very handy for walking through the tall grasses while looking at things like mice and insects, but also come in handy when they're walking through the long water, because it helps keep their body high and dry. When they're in there, they're looking for things like frogs, tadpoles, and even a good old yabby can be on the menu. Now you can see Billy has also got that beautiful red patch on the back of her head. Well, that's a sign to us, but it's probably more important to all the other brolgas out there that she's old enough and on the lookout for a boyfriend. And long sexy legs like that, she hasn't got a problem, so you don't need to worry. Now, we've got around 15 different species of crane in the wild, so we're lucky to have 2 species right here in Australia. But we've got over 50 different types of parrots, and that's why we get the nickname of the land of the parrots. More familiar are the cockatoos, just like these sulphur-crested cockatoos, but we've also got black cockatoos as well. Now this here is Kajandy. She is a female red-tailed cockatoo, and you can tell she's a female just by looking at her. She's got all those beautiful yellow dots covering her body. Where the male, on the other hand, they are pitch black with that stunning red tail. Now this here is Geary, and Geary is an Aboriginal word meaning very red. And he's going to demonstrate his redness as he flies right over the tops of your heads. Now, birds like the sulphur-crested cockatoo, they've actually done really well thanks to European settlement. Ever since we came across into this country, we've brought extra food and extra water resources. So extra crops and dams have sprouted up everywhere. So their numbers have actually exploded. In some areas, they can be considered to be even a little bit of a pest. Unfortunately, though, the changes that have been so good for the white cockatoo really hasn't been the best for the black cockatoo. It's that habitat destruction. Nice and close. Unfortunately, we've been taking down their homes to make way for our own homes. But you know what? It's not all doom and gloom. There's lots of things that we can do to make a huge difference for these birds. Simple things like buying recycled paper. Just like that means we don't have to knock down as many big trees, especially ones that contain hollow logs. Because hollow logs is the main reason why these birds' numbers are diminishing. So hopefully if we can protect the environment, we'll still get to see beautiful birds like Geary soaring through the future. Now you can easily see a bird like that out and about during the day because they're very colourful and very loud. But what kind of birds do we think of when we talk about nighttime hunters? What is it? Owls, yes, that's exactly right. Owls have got an amazing sense of hearing, and they really rely heavily on it, especially on a moonless night. Now you can hear we've got the sounds of some frogs playing over the speakers. What we're going to do is we're going to make that sound come from this tape recorder that I've got here, and I'm going to hide the tape recorder so our barn owl has to use her hearing alone to work out where the noise is coming from. But to work out where I'm going to hide it is I go straight to the middle. Hello, what's your name? Emily, nice to meet you, Emily. Now your choice, all right? What rock would you like me to hide it behind? This one or this one here? This one? You changed your mind there for a second, huh? But we're definitely for this one. Awesome. Everyone give Emily a big clap. Thank you so much for helping me out. All right, I'm going to press play. Hide a little trick behind Emily's rock. Now if you have a look up there above your heads, you can see there's a hollow log. Inside that hollow log is our barn owl Howard. Let's see how he goes as he comes on down to find himself some lunch.
Here we go.
Straight to it. Pretty impressive, you could hear it all the way from up the top. I'm going to walk out around the front of stage so people can get a bit of a closer look at him. And one of the most noticeable features you'll probably see is that beautiful heart. Nighttime, that's right. But did you know that nearly half of the world's owls are also out hunting during the daytime? This surprises a lot of people, and one of the most common owls in Australia that's out and about during the day is the barking owl. This here is Ripley, and you're going to get a close look because she flies close. Now, one of the reasons why these birds are out during the day is because that's when some of their favourite food is awake. You see, they like to eat other birds. So what they will do is they'll sit in a tree where they will sit, wait, watch, scanning the world, and when they spot their food, they explode into action. Now they have to be pretty fast as well because you can imagine other birds, they can be extremely hard to catch. Nice and low. Now I think when I used to have a huge rat problem. It's true, we had rats pretty much running everywhere we looked. It was kind of horrifying sometimes. It's alright. You don't need to worry, ever since those owls moved in, those rats moved out, that problem, it's behind us now. It's true, we haven't had a rat or a mouse problem around here for a very long time, so I'm extremely grateful. I've got a bit of a phobia of them, so I don't know what I would do if I happened to see one these days, so yeah, it's very good. You know what though, those owls really do rely on that silent flight to catch themselves a meal, but other birds, they're built for different reasons. So let's say falcons, they're also built for speed. Now Brennan's going to be coming out and he's going to be lure flying Pez. Pez is a hobby, also known as a little falcon. Now what Brennan's going to be doing is he's going to start swinging a leather lure which he's got in his hand. He's going to start spinning it around, and Pez, once he gains a little bit of height, he's going to come back and start chasing the lure. Now it's a little bit of a game of cat and mouse, but Pez tends to always win. He's very fast, so it does make it really hard. You can see him flying around kind of over here. He's starting to make his way back. Now one of the main reasons why they are so fast, it's because of their wing shape. Have a look at his silhouette as he flies around. You can notice that his wings come to a point at the end and then cut back to his body. So it kind of acts like a knife, like a hot knife cutting through butter as he travels through the wind. So that is how we can get his speed. Peregrine falcons, the larger relative of this bird, are the fastest animal in the world. They can clock speeds of up to 320 k's an hour. He's caught it, now he's got to put on the brakes for it and come on down and claim his prize. Well done, Pez. Now he has to realise he's got to let go of the ground to actually get up to the glove. Oh, he's a fun little bird, that one. Now that he's a bit closer, you can see just how tiny he is, really, compared to some of our other birds that we've had out here. Pez only weighs around 200 grams, so teeny tiny. But he has to eat around 20% of his own body weight each day. Now that might not sound like too much, but if we put it in terms of myself, it would be like me having to eat around 60 Big Mac burgers a day. That's crazy. I don't think I could possibly eat that much. But you know what? My lifestyle isn't as high-packed energy filled as Pez's is. I probably sit on the couch a little bit more than I should. But he has to fly around eating smaller food items. So things like small birds, small insects can be on the menu. So he has to really eat a lot to try to maintain. Now Leslie, you can tell that she is a vulture just by looking at her, at that beautiful bald head. Now that bald head comes in very handy because what they like to do is to dig it right into the bellies of animals that have already died. Doing this just means they're cleaning up carcasses, which helps stop the spread of disease. Now if she had a head full of feathers, it would be a very messy job. All those feathers would just stick together and she could even get sick. That bald head, all that food just dries and flakes right off. You are so graceful. Not as graceful as Billy the Frogger, but you're getting there. Now the last thing we'll have her to do is to exit stage. Just like that. That was Leslie, our Andean condor. She's a fun bird, I have to admit. And one of the best things about her is she is a scavenger. So as I said, she and put it in the bin. Good boy. And really, if a cockatoo can do it, surely you and I can too. Just those simple things, recycling our rubbish, buying recycled paper, even turning off the light switch go a long way in making sure we keep